Welcome back to Death Room Above 40k. We've got another battle report here. We've got Grey Knights versus Death Guard. We've got, I'm going to be using my Grey Knights. And Ben's here using the Death Guard. Say g'day, Ben.
Hello.
Hello. Alright, so this will be at 1200 points. The reason it's 1200 points is because that's all I've painted of the Grey Knights. And if you watch my channel, you know that I do not like playing with unpainted models. So we'll go through the Death Guard first. So it's a battalion. And what is in the battalion? So, there's a Lord of Contagion with Man Reaper. He's paid the 1 command point. I think it's like Gift of Nurgle or something like that. It gives him the reroll 1, so it makes him like a captain. Then he's got Malignant Plaguecaster. He's got Miasma of Pestilence and Blades of Putrefaction. He's the Warlord with Arch Contaminator, and he also has the Suffocating Plate. Oh, sorry, not the Suffocating Plate, the Fulgaris Helm, which makes his aura a bit bigger. Troops. We've got 1, 2, 3 5-man units of Plague Marines. They got 2 Blight Launchers, and each of the champions has a plasma gun. Then we got, for elites, we got Foul Blight Spawn. Foul Blight Spawn, don't leave home without your Foul Blight Spawns, people. Then we've got Death Shroud Terminators. Focus. 3 of, so they've just got their Man Reapers and their little fire hand gauntlets. Then at the back he's got 1, 2, 3 Myphetic Blight Whores. So that comes in at 1200 points and 12 command points, and he's spent 1 on this guy to make him the little buff monster. Alright, coming over here. So we've got Grey Knights. What have I got in the army? So read this one because I was just going through it with Ben, and there's a lot of stuff in this army. So first off, we've got Grandmaster Voldus. Now he's going to be, is it the what was the discipline again? The Dominus discipline. So we're using the Dominus discipline with him. So the powers he's got, because he can take 3 and cast 3. So he's going to have Armored Resilience, which when he casts that gives a -1 to wound. Then we've got Empyrean Domination, so that gives him back a command point if he gets that off. And then Warp Shaping. So Warp Shaping is the one where he can change his little majiggers on the chart. So we'll go through as the game goes on. Alright, behind him, Grandmaster in Nemesis Dreadnought. This guy's the Warlord, so he's going to have First to the Fray, and his relic is the Sanctic Shard, so he can re-roll his Psychic Test and add 1 to it. He's got the hammer, he's got the Gatling silencer and the heavy Psy cannon. So he's the big beat 'em up boss. Troops choice, because it's a patrol detachment. We've only got the 1 troops choice, and it's just a strike squad. They've all just got swords and storm bolters, nothing special here. Their psychic power will be, oh god, there's so many psychic powers. Gate of Infinity. Alright, then in fast attack, we've got, we'll go through the elites first. We've got a Paladin squad here. So a 5-man Paladin squad. They've got halberds and the big dude, like I don't know, what do we call it, Paragon? Yep, Paragon has a hammer. And they're going to have Hammer Hand as their psychic power. So that'll give him the +1 to wound. Then we've got a Venerable Dreadnought, Rifleman Dread. So he's just got the twin auto cannons, and he will have Astral Aim. So that's the 2 elites. And now we've got the fast attack, so we've got 2 Inceptor squads. They've got the Falchions. The leader of each squad's got a hammer, and they've got their Storm Bolters, and both of them will have Gate of Infinity. Alright, that was an absolute mouthful. So we'll go through, roll a mission up, see what we can come up with, and see how these guys go against these guys. So this will be the first time on the channel that the Grey Knights have had a battle as a standalone army and not an ally. So there's more of them to come. I'll be taking them up to 2,000 points, but there's 1,200 painted at the moment. So we've got patrol detachment. So that means I'll come into the battle with 11 command points. So we'll roll something up and we'll throw down with these guys. All right, we'll be back to you in a minute. Alright guys, we've rolled up a mission, and the mission is retrieval mission. So let's go over it. So objective wise, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in this mission, it's if you get 5 points if you hold one objective marker, you get another 5 points if you hold one or more, so two or more objective markers. You get another 5 points if you hold more than your opponent, to a maximum of 15 points per turn. So if you're sitting on 4 of these objectives and the other opponent's only on 2, you're going to get a maximum of 15 points at the end of each of your turns. Secondaries, none of us took the mission secondary, both of us took, so let's break it down what we've got here. So I took Assassinate, so that's kill characters to get points, Line Breakers, so get in his deployment zone, and then I took Mental Interrogation, so that's the one where you can cast a psychic power to see into the mind of your enemy. Ben took Line Breaker, he also took Mental Interrogation, and he took Attrition, which is the one where if he kills more units than I kill each turn, he gets points. Alright, so setup wise, for the Grey Knights, we're on this side, so we got the Interceptors here, then we got next to them the Dreadnought, so they're both near this objective. Then here we've got Voldus, the Strike Squad, and the Nemesis Dreadnought. Then over here we've got our other Inceptor Squad. Then we've got the Paladins in Deep Strike Reserve. Now, the other thing too is, Ben, what did you want to do with the wounds, mate?
I'll go New School.
New School? So what he wants to do for this mission, he's just said in between while we're rolling up the mission too, he wants to do 2 wounds for Marines. So that'll be both armies. So the Grey Knights and the Death Guard will both have the 2 wounds. And the other thing we discussed was that means that the Death Shroud Terminators will go up to 3 wounds and the Paladins will go up to 4. So that could be a bit ridiculous, but that was your idea, yeah?
That's my idea.
Righto, so just if anyone calls any bullshit on me, that was my opponent's idea, not my idea. So that's the setup for the Grey Knights. We'll go around here and have a look at what he's done. This could be bad, I don't know. This is bad influence here. So what's he got? On the very far right, it's got the Haulers, and then a ginormous blob here. So what do we got in the blob? He's got a Foul Blight spawned at the back, and then 1, 2, 3 Death Guard troops units, and then in the middle he's got the Malignant Plaguecaster. Now in Deep Strike Reserve he's got the Lord of Contagion, the Death Shroud Terminators, and he's paid a command point to put another Foul Blight spawn in Strategic Reserve, so that thing will come on from the side somewhere. So that's the setup. He's got the Ball of Death going on. I'm sort of spread out, ready to jump all around using the Warp. So we'll now have a roll off to see who goes first. So you ready, mate? See what you got. Ooh, 3. I hope I can beat that. That's a 1. So we'll be having Death Guard. We'll be going first. So good luck, Ben, and we'll see what you can do. We'll get back to you at the end of Death Guard turn 1. Alright guys, end of Death Guard turn 1. What's been done? So pretty much the Blight Haulers were here. They've shifted up over here. And this big blob's just ran forward sort of onto this objective. So movement wise, that was about it. Now as for these guys, he managed to get Blades of Putrefaction off on the closest unit here, and he failed to get the Neg 1 to hit off on these guys. Shooting wise, the only thing that was in range was the missile launchers that were on these guys, and he got line of sight over here and he shot one of my strike dudes down. So even though I had the Tide of Battle that gives me cover, I rolled 2 1s even though they had 2 wounds. He killed a Strike Squad guy, but that was it for the first turn, and he's got himself near some objectives. So pretty quick turn for Death Guard, nothing really happened. So we'll go on to Grey Knights turn 1 and see if we can't return the favour and start smacking some of the snot out of these guys. Alright. Alright guys, end of Grey Knights turn 1, and it's been pretty successful. So first things first, this Dreadnought moved on to this objective. The Interceptors that were here jumped over here onto this objective. If we come around here, Voldus and the Strike Squad ran forward onto this objective. These guys jumped forward onto this objective, and the Dreadnought's all the way over there, but we'll get to that in a second. So psychic power wise, these guys didn't do anything. This guy did Astral Aim and got it off. Over here, Voldus did the command point 1, got the command point 1 off, and he did the, so it's -1 to wound on this unit. Try and keep him in there. Then these guys did their psychic power. They did Gate of Infinity on this guy, which is why he's all the way over here. Then this guy did Sanctuary, giving him the 3-up invuln. And then he also tried to do a smite on here. And then these guys did a smite, but it was shut down. Whoo! Woo! Psychic powers, far out. Takes bloody 3 hours just to do the psychic phase. Alright, shooting. This will be quick. This guy here shot over into this unit and killed 2 of them and wounded 1. These guys and Voldus shot in here with their over here with their storm bolters. Didn't do anything. These guys, I paid the command point, Cybolt ammunition, I think it was called, and they shot into here and killed 1 guy. Was it killed 1 guy?
Yeah.
Killed a guy. We killed a guy. Paid 2 command points and killed 1 guy. If it was Imperial Guardsman, it would have done absolute carnage. Alright, this guy landed over here. Now, he paid the 2 command points. I can't remember the name of the stratagem, but it makes his weapons +1 strength and AP. He shot into these guys. He took a few wounds off one of them, but then he ran in and smashed one with his hammer and smashed one. It's lost 6 wounds, so we'll make that a 6, not a 2. We'll get confused there. So, at the end of this turn, there was no points scored because obviously the objectives, and there was no secondaries scored, but we've got ourselves on pretty much nearly every objective on the table minus these 2 over here. Paladins. Alright, so we'll let Ben have his turn, bring in some of his models and see what he can do. We'll get back to you in a minute. Demons! Alright guys, end of Death Guard turn 2. What's happened? So, these guys have moved on to this objective. Spoogie's over here. These guys have moved forward in a this away direction. These guys stayed on this objective. This is in combat with the big guy. Over here, he outflanked his Spoogenaut over here onto these guys. And then he deep struck over here to take on these guys. So psychic power wise, nothing really happened because I just shut down all his psychic powers, which is not a surprise at all. We'll start over here. This guy come on and he rolled really well and he flattened 2 of them. He just spooged in their faces like, oh yeah, oh, killed 2 of my Grey Knights. So that's our spoogy guy over here. Same thing over here, spoogy guy over here. He went, oh yeah, into the guys here and killed 4 of them. And then these guys ran in and finished off the last one. And with the pandemic stuff, we don't say the word pandemic around here anymore. But then in combat here, this guy went first because he charged last turn. He beat down another one and did 4 wounds on this. But they shot in combat and took a few wounds off him. So he's lost 3 wounds. And then these guys all shot over here into this Dreadnought but didn't do anything because that's all they had line of sight of. And then if we come around here, with a reroll, we failed both charges here to get into Voldus here. So Voldus was just like, come at me, bro, and then nothing happened. So, at the end of Ben's turn 2, he does get, he's got 2 objectives here, uncontested, so that's 10 points. And for the battle, I'll have to wait till the end of my battle round if you killed more. So I've got to kill at least a whole unit, otherwise you'll get points for that as well. Alright, so we'll go on with Grey Knight turn 2 and see what we can do. Alright guys, end of... That was my turn 2, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Grey Knight's turn 2. So, had to think about that, buddy. Jesus. We'll start with movement. So these guys stayed over here. This Dreadnought just moved across a bit to get line of sight in case his psychic power didn't go off. These guys stayed here. Voldus did charge in here, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The Paladins came down over on this objective over here, and this guy's ended up over in this shenanigans here. So we'll break it down. So these guys and the Dreadnought shot over into the foul blight spawn that was here, and Spooge went over it, just fucking pop, bang, gone, see ya. So that got me 3 points for killing character. I also got maximum 15 points for being on more objectives than Ben at the start of the turn. Then these guys come down and paid for their Cybolt ammunition, I think it was, and shot over into here and killed a heap of these Marines. Well, they didn't kill a heap of them, but there's 1 left. They failed their charge, so they're staying there. These guys stayed here on the objective, and Voldus went off over here to on a journey. He killed one of these guys. Like, he charged and he ended up around here. He killed one of them, and then these 2 turned around and what they do, like 10 wounds or something on him. No, they did the 6. It was 6. Yeah, just enough to kill him. So they sent Voldus back into the warp. Over here, so in the shooting phase, oh, psychic powers too. Bloody hell. This guy got off Sanctuary. Yeah, that was about it for Psychic Powers. Everything else did Smite. And I swapped the Tide of Battle to the one that does 2 Smite per Majigga. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. But anyway, this guy shot into combat, finished off the Blight Hauler. He was able to move forward a bit. Then he charged in and he beat down the Sorcerer. So that gave me another 3 points. So at the end of Grey Knight's turn 2, we've racked up 21 points. And what are you at the end of turn 2, Ben?
14.
14, so it's 14 to 22. But now he's got these guys in my back line, and he's still got some stuff spread out, so he can still shoot the crap out of me. Like, he's still got a McSpooge gun and a heap of other stuff around here. So we'll let Ben get on with his turn 3 and see what happens. All right, we'll get back to you in a minute. All right, guys, end of Death Guard turn 3. Benny Boy's come back in here and hit back quite hard. So we'll start over here, use Nurgle's Blessings to bring one of these back, and between the shooting from these two guys, Spoogie Man and these, they killed 3 of these guys, which are 4 wounds in this matchup that we're playing, and wounded 1 more of them. They passed their leadership and stayed there, but yeah, that was pretty brutal really, so I can't let him do that another round. Also at the start too, he got 10 points for being on 2 objectives, and he got Line Breaker for having 2 units in my deployment zone, so that was good for him. So he got 14, so he's on 28. So that was all the shooting and everything that happened here. These guys were stuck in combat here. I actually only killed 1 of them, and then he did nothing in return. But then if we come around here, obviously these guys cleaned out all the troops and everything that were in here. So he's put himself in quite the good position for retaliation, because on the battlefield now, like, I've got my Dreadnought left, these 2 guys over here, a Dreadnought and these guys. So he's actually outnumbering me with models quite significantly now. So I'll go into Grey Knight's turn 3 and see what we can do. Hit back hard if we can, and try and... what was that?
I just remembered something, it's all good.
What do you remember?
I just forgot to do me guys 3 inches, consolidate.
Oh, we'll move them 3 inches. You do it after. Yeah, he's just saying he's forgot to consolidate these guys. It's like, alright mate, how many advantages do you want, bro? Nah, just joking. You'll do that in a minute. So what we'll do is we'll get on with Grey Knight's turn 3 and see if we can't remove some things. Alright guys. Alright guys, end of Grey Knight's turn 3, and start of the battle. I was on 3 objectives again, so got a max of 15 points for that. Movement wise, this guy sort of moved back a bit just because these guys are on the other side of this building just to create some space. These guys jumped from this objective over to this objective just to put some support fire into here. Shot in here, didn't do a lot. There was a few smites and killed a few units. Then if we go over here, we had these guys ran in. They killed the Spooge gun guy with the hammer, and they killed this guy here. So I got 3 more points for killing a character as well. So that was 18 points. I think I'm on 39 points now for the turn. Over here, obviously the Dreadnought smashed his way through here, and he's coming back over this way. So at this point, still got a lot of stuff on a lot of objectives around the field, but every unit's, you know, there's these guys are only 3 guys left, 1's wounded, 2 guys left, and he's got 3 wounds on him. This guy's not too bad. And the Dreadnought's at full health. So going into Ben's turn 4, he's sitting on a pretty good, you know, he's not on the back foot. He's got a way he can get out of this. So we'll see what happens. These guys could be a problem. I'm going to have to try and remove them with the Dreadnought, but unless he removes me first. We'll let him have his turn 4, and we'll get back to you in a minute. All right. Alright guys, end of Death Guard turn 4. Ben's hit back with a few tactics and a few bits and bobs. So we'll go through what he done. So he stepped out of combat here and used Father Nurgle's Blessings to bring Guy back, just to have some more guys on the objectives. He didn't really do anything to the 2 Paladins because they finally turned their shields and their armour on. He did, however, shoot into these guys. Didn't do too much, but then he charged in. So he's contested. Both of these are now have troops on them. So he's actually reduced the amount of objectives that I'm on, which was good on his behalf. So he's tied these guys up. I didn't do anything over here, and he stayed over here because he got the points for having 2 units. So he got 14 points total. So what was that? It's 42?
Yep.
So the Grey Knights are on 39 and he's on 42, so it's a close one at this point. Realistically, I'm going to have to remove these guys out of here. It's going to be just a bad day at the office because he's just going to keep sitting there and racking up those secondary points. And to get some guys off here as well. So he's doing tricky shenanigans. He's first time using the Death Guard and he's using them quite effectively. So we'll get back, have Grey Knights turn 4 and see if I can't turn the tide of battle. Alright guys. Alright guys, end of Grey Knights turn 4. What has happened here? Lots of carnage, lots of damage. So, I got 10 points for being on the 2 objectives. So, at the end of turn 4, I'm on 49 points. So, I can only really get 1 more point, so I'm pretty sure you max out at 50 points. Now, over here, so the Dreadnought shot the guys off here, and then these guys killed the other guys that were on here, so he's no longer holding any of these objectives in the background. So I've taken this one, no over here, and then over here we ran in, but we didn't do anything to each other because I got a 3-up Invon and he's got Disgustingly Resilient. We're just saying then that that's the end of the game, so it will be a Grey Knights victory because Ben's currently on 42 points. So he'll get 4 points at the next stage. You can only get 46 points. And then I'm on 49 points, plus if I have another turn, I'll get these objectives all can spread out to grab more again. So, all he's got left is this character and this one. So, that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Do you got a man of the match, Ben?
Death Shroud Terminators.
The Death Shroud Terminators, they
cut down Voldus.
Cut down Voldus, and they racked up a heap of secondaries by sitting on this objective and also getting Line Breaker, and because they're super tough I couldn't really remove them out of here, even though I spent turns shooting at them with this, ran in there and bopped them on the head with this big guy and they're still there. I'm going to give man of the match to obviously the Nemesis Dreadnought. Like for the last 4 turns he's like bloody hell, he started over here, carved his way through the Myphetic Blight Halls, carved his way through all the guys here over this objective and ended up over in here. So he did a full circle. I can see why people add multiple in the list. I do have another one to put in the list, so 2 is better than 1, I always say. So hopefully you've enjoyed that, and we'll get back to the drawing board and get these Grey Knights up in points to have a few bigger games so that his Grey Knight fans out there can get a bit of Grey Knight action. Alright, stay safe out there, and we'll get back to you soon.